Welcome back guys, this is Vishu from SavageCamp and today's video is going to be an explanation of the self keyword in classes. In the last video, we learned what a class is, how to write functions inside a class, how to use the object to access those functions that we wrote inside the class. And we saw this small example of a calculator where we did addition, subtraction, multiplication and division, and all of them had a self keyword even though we did not pass it in this example. If I run this, it is not going to give me an error even though we are passing two arguments and it is taking three parameters. The self is the parameter of the class that is by default, and in this video we are going to understand what it does. So I'm going to write a small class without using the self keyword and then show you how it makes it easier when you use the self keyword. So let's do class, and this class will have functions. The first one, let's do an init self. Then we will write the name, return name, that will take the self and name. This will pass age and pass, and last one is return income. This will take income, pass. I'm going to fast forward this and write some stuff over here. Basically we are just going to do some basic calculation. Print f your name is we have basic program over here where we are putting the name, we are returning the age and the monthly income. Now what we are going to do is, this is giving me an error, so I will also put the name, and here also I'm going to put the name. Now to run this program, let's go back and create our class, which should be information. Remember parenthesis over here, obj dot return name. I'm going to put my name, obj dot return birth year, and I have to put 1991, and obj dot return income, and I'm going to put 1 million. And let's run this. Actually we need to put the name again, so copy paste, put this and put this. So this should not be commas, and if I run this, it is going to give me, hi Vishu, you are 30 years old and your income per month is this much. We have this done now. What happened is we created our name and we then returned our age and return income. The problem is, if I remove the class, it is still going to run because everywhere we are putting the name of the person even though we are giving an information of the same person. So for 3 functions we had to pass the name 3 times. For 6 functions in a class we will have to pass the name 6 times. Now this is where the self keyword is very important. What I would do is create a variable self.name and put an empty string. And here I'm going to say define set name, and this is going to take a variable name, and what this will do is self.name, which is our variable in here, is equal to name. Now what we did is when we call the class, this function is called, this init is initialization, so this is called, and it has only one variable self.name. Now this self.name is empty. When I set name, I'm passing the name and it is assigning that value to self.name. Now why is this important? It's because here in return name, what I will do is change this to self.name. So this variable that we initialized in set name can be used everywhere because it is a part of the self keyword. Self.name can be used anywhere in this class, and that is what self does. It is a part of the class, so in anywhere inside the class you can refer to this keyword. So once we have this, I don't need to pass in the name variable every time. What I will do is just use self.name and return the name variable. If you are going to do that, you have to set the name. So let's set the name obj.setName Vishu, and return name will not take any variables because this is returning self.name. Let's remove Vishu from everywhere. And now you can see we can run the same program, but we are not passing the name variable everywhere. What we did is created a function where we set the name, and this self.name variable is accessible everywhere in all the functions. So it is one variable that is accessible everywhere. And here if I do self.name is equal to John, what this will do is replace this value. So even though we put in Vishu, it is going to print John because we changed the value. The change is permanent. The change is across all the functions. So always remember that these variables, once you set the value, it is accessible everywhere. But if you change the value of that variable, it would change it everywhere. So here I can do self.name is equal to something else and run this. It is going to take 3 different names even though we set the name to Vishu. So this variable is accessible everywhere. So do not forget that it is very important that you have consistent values, because you will have issues if you keep changing this. These are variables that you set at the beginning, so people don't have to do it again and again, and you don't have to remember them. You can use it everywhere without passing them in each function. So that is it for this video, guys. In the next video we will be doing more programs on classes and objects, and the more you see this, the more you will understand how this works. So that is it for this video, guys, and I will see you guys in the next one.